Guys, what's up? Evan from Stock Music Musician here today, and I'm bringing you a review of one of my favorite pieces of hardware, one of my only pieces of hardware at the moment. I've bought and sold a few other pieces, but this one has stuck with me. It's the Warm Audio Tone Beast, the TB12. This thing is truly a beast, and I think it's a great choice for a home studio. So in this review, I'm not going to get into details about the sound so much. I actually made a couple of videos about demos of the sound and the circuits, so you can check those out up here or up here, whatever corner they're in, if you really want to hear how this sounds. Today I just really want to talk about how I use this, how I feel about it, whether or not I'd buy it again, and whether or not I'd recommend you should buy it. But before we go any further, I'd just like to take 1 second to ask you to like this video, subscribe if you find this content that I'm making interesting, or give me a big fat thumbs down if you hate it and I'm the worst person on earth. But tell me why, so hopefully I can get better, because I've got some experience at this music thing back here, but not a ton of experience with YouTube, so I'm still trying to figure this out. You guys have been so helpful and supportive in the past year or so in helping me figure out how to make better videos, how to edit them better, how to record the sound better. So I really appreciate it. Keep the comments coming, and I'm just trying to give something back to you with this. So Warm Audio makes a bunch of different types of hardware that emulates classic vintage consoles. This here is a preamp. I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to be modeled on, other than to say that it's just a high quality, really, really nice preamp. So I'm going to walk you through its features first and then tell you about how I use it. And it's laid out incredibly intuitively and very user-friendly, which is one of my favorite things about this. I've had some hardware before that just didn't really make sense to me or didn't play well with other pieces of hardware, and so I got rid of them. But this just slots right in and does exactly what I need it to do. And I'll tell you one main reason why that is. On the left here, you've got a microphone insert. Next to it, you've got a high Z insert for guitars or basses. And on the back, oops, that's one of the things I'm going to tell you about. On the back, you've also got a line in on the input and a mic in on the input side. So the front panel gives you access to buttons that will let you select which of the inputs you're using. And that is incredibly helpful because you can leave this in your rack wired up with several different configurations, and you can just adjust it based on what buttons you push. So if you want the line in on the back, you hit the line button. If you want the high Z, you hit the high Z. It's got phantom power on it, which is sort of a must these days. It's got a pad, which I use all the time because generally I'd rather be using the amplification, the preamplification circuits in here than using whatever's coming out of my bass, whether it's active electronics or a microphone, or if you're running this through something, basically you want to get the gain from here because it has such a nice gain stage to it. Then you've got the ability to flip the polarities and a high pass filter, and which I normally keep on. Now, in the heart of this is two Cinemag transformers, which really are just high quality preamps. They allow you to get two totally different sounds, and that's where the secret to this preamp comes in, is the fact that you can choose between two different types of preamps, and you can switch out your own custom ones with this knob. So this is a direct amplifier, and you can either switch between X731 or X18. Those are short for longer numbers, which I don't have in front of me. I find that the 731 is a little more old-fashioned sounding, and the 18 is a little more modern. From there, it goes into the tone control section, which you can either turn on or turn off. And the capacitors have two options. One is vintage and one is clean. And there definitely is a difference, especially as you ramp up the saturation. You can hear that they don't break up in the same linear sorts of ways. And you can bypass the tone control section altogether, and then or bypass the output transformer section or the middle section. So you've got different stages of adjusting the sound. And then here you can either go through steel transformers, which have a sort of rolled off highs and lows, or a nickel transformer, which is more just clean and straight ahead. And then finally you get to just the heart of this, the saturation knob, the gain knob, and the saturation knob. So between the two of these, you can get anything from just clear little bit of preamplification to almost like a 1960s overdriven guitar sound. I've gotten many good recordings just running the guitar directly into this and cranking the saturation for sort of an old-fashioned recording sound, and everything in between. To really get the most out of this, you're going to need to also have a pad, a 20 dB pad on the input of your DAW, or run it through a mixer where you can take it down another step, because it definitely can be running hot at certain stages. And let's just flip to the back real quick, because you also have inserts, and so you can do a send and receive. And for a while I was running a Summit Audio TLA 50 compressor through this, but one of the big problems with that was that I couldn't step down the volume enough between the output of this, or the insert volume of this, and the compressor. That was more of a problem of the compressor than of the Tone Beast. But just to say that you need pieces that play well together. And the Summit Audio compressor didn't play well with this, because it would get overdriven before it could even start to compress. And then finally, your output options are balanced outputs, either XLR or 1/4 inch. Here's the power section. As you notice, one of the knobs flew off. It's easy enough to fix with a little screwdriver like you would use for a computer, but I've had a couple knobs fall off in my time, so that's just something to keep an eye out for. So now, how do I use this? Why would you use this? Basically, I think this is great for a home studio because it gives you a variety of different sounds in one really good transformer, or one really good preamp. And like I said, you can check out the demos of them previously, or there'll be a link at the end of the video. But what that allows you to do is get a lot more variety out of a limited set of instruments. So one of the classic techniques, for example, to create separation in your mix, instead of boosting one guitar by 6 decibels to make it sound more extreme, but it sort of loses its character, is to boost one guitar by 3 decibels at 1K and cut the other guitar by 3 decibels in one place. So that just creates still a 6 decibel difference in that frequency, and that creates separation. It's subtle, but as you do it over a bunch of different tracks, you get a different sound. And similarly, this is how this works. So if I'm recording 2 guitar tracks, for example, I might use extremer settings. I might use different amps, preamps, and output transformers and saturation patterns, and you just get a little bit more difference. This also just cleans up everything. It adds a little bit of warmth. I really, really value this, but I think I personally bought this sooner than I needed it. I'm still, right about now, I can use it and get a lot out of it, but probably when I bought this about a year ago, I didn't know enough about miking or EQ or compression, and I thought that this was going to be the secret sauce, and just instantly plug this in and everything would sound warm and magical and amazing. And that's not how it works. This is just a tool, but if you don't know how to use it, you're going to throw your money away. So I'd say if you feel pretty comfortable with your EQ, your compression, all of that in the box, you might seriously want to look at one of these, because they're powerful and they're versatile, and you can really just put it in your rack and instantly get a much broader palette of high quality sounds. And so yeah, that's about it. Hope you like this. Again, don't forget to subscribe or give us a thumbs up or down, and leave a comment if there's something else you'd like me to review, or if you have any questions about this. And here are the links for the other videos with the demos of the Tone Beast.